meet Tuesday through Friday to get together and start the day off with positivity. My name is Phyllis Nash. I'm your Chief Sales Officer, one of the four co founders. Glad to greet you each and every morning that I am here. Got a couple of announcements before you. Yesterday, of course, was the end of the month, our short month that is, and we have been having 10% since Valentine's Day. And we're going to give 1 day of amnesty because I woke up this morning to a bunch of texts that said, hey, I didn't get my order in before midnight last night, or they did, and the clock goes back, guys, on Eastern time. So they missed it. So for all of you all that need to put orders in to make sure you meet your requirements for your founders pack, or to either take advantage of that 10%, you can still do so up until midnight tonight. Okay, midnight tonight. And that is for any order. 10% goes to any order up to $400. Now, those of you all that did put it in and it says on March 1st, then you must call customer support to get them to backdate it. It won't backdate automatically. So, those people that text me last night, you need to call customer service, let them know you need that order backdated to state February 28th. So I'm going to go and get out of the way and bring our phenomenal Coach Dan, Pastor Dan, Mentor Dan, Motivational Speaker Dan. He has so many hats and does all of them phenomenally well. Again, I tell this story because I want you to know that you can never stop engaging with people that you want to be in your business with you, or just that you want to have in your circle. Because Coach Dan, over 10 years, well, it's probably 15 years now, I met him and we did a few things together. And then he let me know, he said, Phyllis, I am not interested in building anybody else's company. Now, if you talk about a company that is owned by people that look like us, owned by us, then I might consider. So you know what happened when we founded Wakana. He was one of the first people I called. And he was true to his word. He came on board. He got busy, but then he got into corporate and knew that that was a place that he loved so much, mentoring and motivating others. And now he's even building his business, his what kind of business too. So it just happens by osmosis. So Coach Dan, are you out there? Where are you? Take it away.
Hey there, Miss Phyllis. How are you? How are you?
On
I
top of the
am
world.
out here. I'm telling you, today is shock day. Today is shock day. I just got off the phone with one of my clients out of Florida, and literally, this guy is a trader. He and his family travels all across the country in warm climates when Chicago winters get cold, and he's a trader, and he had an issue, and this is going into what I'm going to talk about today. He had an issue because a few weeks ago, he literally had the best 2 days of trading in his life. It took him to epic proportions, and he was shocked. And he was so shocked um, that he didn't feel like it was real. And eventually he lost it all and some because he didn't feel like the success that he was having was real. And so, also, I talked to a colleague of mine who's working on his doctorate's degree, and he gave me this term that I can't remember, but the term was about doctoral candidates that once they get to that level, many of them don't believe that they can ever achieve the ultimate goal. So they go through, so there's a condition for that that really talks about not being good enough in order to be what they already are. Yeah. So, and many of you on the line can relate when you look at all of those that's at the top in their perspective spaces, And many of you, like me at some point, would say, I'm not good enough, or I don't believe that I can get to that point. It's natural. I've gone through it. Many of my colleagues have gone through it that are extremely successful. It is a part of our growth process, and it's shocking. We also had a situation in Chicago, as many of you know now, with our mayoral election. Now, I had a pleasure of being with Brandon Johnson a couple of weeks ago, and while I was with him, he was kind of fragile in the sense that he had been going through a lot in this campaign. Many people thought that he will one day become a great mayor, but this is not his time. Many thought that the runoff was going to be, watch this now, with Mayor Lori Lightfoot and Paul Vallis. However, despite how he was feeling, despite the anxiety that he was going through, despite what the polls stated, and the polls state the probability of winning, and he was never really in the rankings to be the top two, he continued anyway. And so one of the things I was sharing with my client a few moments ago, right before I jumped on this call, was that once you see it, here we go, before you even pursue it, your ability to see it says that there's a possibility that you can possess it. Now, let me break that down to you, because part of the number one challenge in anyone achieving any goal in their life is the ability to see themselves achieving it. It's their ability. I was talking to one of my colleagues yesterday, and he said that, I said, man, you work out, it feels like a million times a day. I just started working out, and I'm ready to throw in the towel. And he said, DJ, I got a picture of myself, of what I want to look like. And as a result of the picture of myself that I want to look like, every time I become discouraged, every time I become tired, every time I get to a place where I just don't feel like it, he says, I look at vision. I look at where I want to be, and I allow where I want to be the motivation to get me there. And so today, as I talk to you today, I want to talk about you becoming the next person to shock not only yourself, but to shock the world. Now, Coach, what does this got to do with me building my business? Well, if you really, really are in it, but you don't think you can really achieve it, then you never will win. If you're in it just to see how it's going to go, then you'll never put forth the necessary effort to get to where you're trying to go to. As a result of that, you're just really wasting your time to prove to yourself what you told yourself in the first place, and that is, I can't do it. So here's what I want us to do. I want us, this first day of the third month of 2023, what I want you to do is I need you to see yourself at the top. I need you to see yourself at a place that I need you to create the vision of what you want your life to look like. Watch this, 12 months from now. I want you to see it, but not only see it, I want you then to begin to have the kind of self-talk that's going to keep you in hot pursuit of achieving it. There are many of you, and if you're not listening, let me say this. We got March Madness coming up, and there are many of you that's on the line this morning that are participating in March Madness. And if you're not on the line, if you're on the line and you're not participating, I encourage you to get in. And the reason why I encourage you to get in is because March Madness does a couple of things. Number one, it puts you, there's a certain level of intentionality on the team dynamic. That means you're not in it by yourself. There's an entire team that is pushing and that is working with you and that is working together to help you reach your goal so the team can ultimately reach its goal. Now, in order to do that, and the second reason why, so number one, you get accountability and you get the team dynamics, right? But number two, what you're going to get is momentum because these team leaders are not joking. They want to win. There's tens of thousands of dollars on the table and they want to take it. And so they're going to call these team meetings. They're going to encourage you. They're going to help you to get to where you need to go. So even if you said, well, I just got in. Well, I know a few people that just got in last year and they at the top this year. So this is the right spot for those of you that just got in. You got to get in though, because if you never get in the fight, you'll never know whether or not you can win it. Let me say that again. If you never get in the fight, then you'll never know whether or not you can win it. I don't know who the person was, so I'm not talking about any individual, but when we were during our March Madness draft, I saw something in the chat. I remember seeing something in the chat, not this year, next time. Listen, we cannot live our lives like next time is possible or like next time is guaranteed. This is the next time. Your next time is right now. And so get in. And listen, if you fall short, I guarantee you, if you put in an effort to win, you'll be farther along than you would be just sitting on the sidelines. If you fall short, you would at least now get to the inside scoop of 10 other people and leaders that have already done it. And you can hear their secrets on how they got it done. And you can hear different strategies and dynamics that you may not get from being on some of these corporate calls. Don't wait till next time. You don't want to get paid next year. You want to get paid this year. You don't want to see your dreams come true next year. You want to see your dreams come true this year. You don't want to wait till November to begin to make money. You want to make money right now. You want freedom now. So if you want freedom now, then you cannot afford to wait till next time. I don't know where all this energy is coming from this morning. It must be because I was on that rebound too long. But here is what I want to share with you today. I want to share with you today that you have the ability to not only shock yourself, but shock the world and shock all those that are around you. But your ability without you actually stepping in to do the work and without you believing it is just wasted potential. Your ability without you actualizing the necessary work to achieve is a waste. All of you have the capacity to be at the place that you see yourself in the future. How do I know? Because you see yourself in the future. Everything that was ever created started with a vision. And so if you have a vision for what your future looks like, then you have the capacity to get it done. God is not a respecter of person. He's a respecter of faith. And faith without works is dead. And so the truth of the matter is you have to position yourself not only to have faith in God and faith in yourself, but you have to position yourself to do the work. And if you do the work, Coach Dan promised you, the work is going to work. That's a guarantee. That's a guarantee that if you follow the steps, if you follow the sequence, if you follow the system, and if you do the right thing consistent enough, long enough, you will see that it will eventually be enough. But if you do nothing, you get nothing. If you believe nothing, you pursue nothing. If you pursue nothing, you possess nothing. Listen, we're not on a call to deal with a bunch of nothingness. We're on a call for people today that says, today, I'm going to make a decision. And the decision that I make today is going to be the decision that's going to change the trajectory for the rest of my life. Those leaders, lead your teams. Those of you that's in March Madness, lead your teams. Lead them. and create leaders in them. Pull out the best in them. Listen, I'm telling you, the momentum is not only going to change your life, but it's going to really become history making as we continue our pursuit to becoming $1 billion company. Listen, I'm not done, but that's all the time I got. So I'm going to leave it right there. I want you to have a supernaturally wonderful kind of day. And until next time, as always, prosper. Phyllis, back to you.
Well, all I can say is the mic has been dropped and there's no more to say. Go out and have a Wakanda kind of day. See you back here tomorrow morning.